3, 2, 1, I got a score, I know I can't blow it. And whoa, learn about my cleats, never feel defeat. 4th quarter on the way, you can feel the heat. Taking all the competition, that's unnecessary. Never let them see me sweat, and I'm never scared. Still coming, the competition stays running. Y'all don't wanna see me get mad. You better off saying nothing.
Going from South Africa to Hong Kong was an extreme jump, and now I just felt like an adventure.
佢喺南非做紋身會有好多唔好嘅後果，最後為咗做紋身而咁樣嚟到。
It's just amazing to me that I can pay the bills with art. You know, I never thought it was possible. I never even knew that tattooing was a job when I was a kid. You know.
我哋以為咧，外國地方咧一定係自由啊、開放好多噶嘛。點知道原來有啲地方咧紋身係犯法嘅，紋身係唔合法嘅，好似南非咁啦，好似韓國咁啦，係唔合法嘅呢樣嘢。咁所以咧，好多人都要奀地慣去做，或者咧離開自己個地方，去另一個地方，先至可以發展到自己個紋身藝術咯。
My name is Ross Turpin. I do mostly Japanese and traditional styles of tattooing. I am from South Africa originally, and I've been tattooing 15 years.
This is Haiyang village in Sai Kung. What do I do here? Just hang out with my family, and then also this is where I do my prep work for tattooing and make art. This is where my concepts always start with sketchbooks, you know, and then from my sketchbooks, you know, I'll have like a lot of different concepts and ideas. So this is a very old one. You can see I write stuff down, and then a lot of these are just experiments that, like, I don't care. A lot of the ideas are risky, and a lot of the artworks are just made, and then whether they're good or bad, it doesn't matter. I just move on. I do another one, do another one, do another one, you know. So I have hundreds, maybe thousands of ideas, but very few of them like stick in my head and stay around for me to get them out onto a larger scale. I'm always changing, you know, and my work's always changing. I like my personality. I'm always exploring, always experimenting, and so with my tattoos, I'm doing the same. I'm always trying to make a new way. I don't really like repeating the same images over and over. I like to explore new ideas, so that's what my artwork's like. My favorite artists are always the artists that create a wide variety of works. Even though you might see my tigers being repeated, I'm painting a lot of tigers, but every time I'm doing it in a different way. And then I'll get bored of it and I'll move on to some other image, you know.
我大概應該中學畢業嗰段時間開始 follow 佢哋，然後我好中意佢喺紋身以外好積極參與 art， 然後嗰陣時就開始留意佢哋呢班人，原來好多人個個都有咁樣去做紋身之餘會好熱衷 art 呢樣嘢，因為對我嚟講呢樣嘢係好一齊，即係雖然唔係話紋身就代表做 art， 但呢樣嘢係好有連繫性，因為大家都係畫畫。如果你中意紋身，係應該要中意畫畫先。當我要選擇鋪頭嘅時候，我就第一時間醒起佢哋。
I had an exhibition. We did an exhibition here in the shop about 6 months ago, maybe less. No, like about 3 months ago, and I had a bunch of those paintings with coins and robots and skeletons and stuff. Yeah. So I sold some of them, and some of them are left over. Yeah.
Art and tattooing, for me, there's a crossover, but it's different. Tattooing, there's a lot of restrictions. You know, you've got to make something that is going to last a long time, that's going to be fit within a certain guidelines that are going to make a good tattoo, and that's different to what's going to make a good artwork. So there's crossover. You know, good illustration and all that kind of stuff is the same, but with art, I could be more free. Also with art, I don't have a client. The client's to me, so I just do whatever I want with my art. I don't have any feeling like it has to be even completed, you know. Just having fun and experimenting is what I do with all my art. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out, it's okay. I just start again, start the next one. Yeah, with tattooing, it's definitely much more. You have to be well prepared and have to be very tight. The lines have to be very good. You know, everything has to be solid. With art, with painting on canvas or my sketchbooks or whatever it is, I'm much more free. I can just do whatever, and there's no stress that anyone's gonna like it or dislike it. It doesn't matter. Tattooing is the commercial side of my art. So it's all connected. I can't really separate it. It's easier for me to make money from tattooing because I have clients that want to get, you know, and they come in for the hours. Whereas like with my paintings, sometimes I paint something like 5 years ago and then it only sells now. So with paintings, the cash flows are much different. So with tattooing, it's much more stable. But at the end of the day, I see it as sort of under the same umbrella. Tattooing and art, it's all just self-expression. And my clients usually come to me for what I like to do in tattooing. So it's just an extension of my own expression. The first time I ever noticed tattooing was from a movie called Police Academy. And there was a funny scene where a guy came into the tattoo shop to get a Harley Davidson tattoo, but then he got a Vespa, and then he was angry. And then that made me feel like, whoa, tattoo's crazy, you know? And then it never left my mind. Yeah, and then I started getting involved in music, and you see tattoos, and that's sort of where I started to really discover tattoos and the power of tattoos, and you know. Today I'm doing some lilies, but in a Japanese style with Japanese water and clouds. So currently the process, I've already put the image on the skin and I'm just currently lining the image. Your first tattoo and the TV show.
She wanted to see me cry, but you disappointed her.
Ah, sorry. I'll try harder next time. So this will be a black and grey tattoo. Most of my clients ask for colour, but I love doing black and grey as well. So with colour, I'll put colour in the foreground and black and grey in the background. So I don't have to think about the contrast as much. With black and grey, I have to be much more conscious about the contrasts and how I'm going to make the flowers really jump out and make the background sink back without colour. Is a little bit more of a challenge, but it's totally doable. Yeah, so in South Africa there wasn't a lot of opportunities. There was only, in my city there was only like maybe 3 shops. Yeah, in the 90s. And then they were all run by bikers and these kind of like nefarious operations. I started to get tattooed by these guys, but I didn't want to work with them because I knew then I had to become involved in gangsters and selling stuff. And
Ross 係學紋身，佢要匿喺自己嗰個車庫入邊，自學紋身。原因係佢唔可以俾其他紋身店知道。
And at that time it was when tattooing was first starting to become mainstream, you know, like the early 2000s, Miami Ink and these kind of things. So it started to have this feeling like, oh, actually I don't need to learn from these guys. I can learn in my own way. Yeah, so I actually taught myself. At the time we had Flickr, so I would go on Flickr, find other tattooers that would put their artwork up there, and then I'd message them and be like, how do I do this? And they were very helpful because I think at that time it was a bit different. It was, you know, and so people gave me advice. My business partner, Richard, he had like an apprenticeship, like a short apprenticeship, and so I got some information from him, and it was very rough, and the tattoos we were doing were not great, but we were learning very quickly, you know. And then I have an artistic background, so I had a basic idea of what could be okay, you know. That was my only choice. I don't think that's a good idea for most people, but for me in my situation, it was the only option if I wanted to tattoo, really, yeah.
喺佢哋寧願偷偷地自己屋企學，或者 Rich 係有真係去過一間鋪頭做學徒，而佢知道呢樣嘢唔係佢想要嘅嘢，因為所有嘢你都唔可以自行做。Machine 唔係你屬於你嘅，你嘅畫作都唔屬於你，係屬於鋪頭。而鋪頭叫你做一啲唔應該做嘅嘢，你都冇得適用。所以喺佢哋嗰度做紋身呢個係一個好難得嘅機會。
I guess the shoulder is the less.
At the top of the shoulder, this is quite.
'Cause the
it's
bone.
a little bit sensitive. You know, the arm's a little bit easier, but some people, if they can just chill and handle the arm okay, then they can normally handle most things. You know.
其實諗咗好耐嘅，咁但係就我髮型師都係同佢紋身嘅，咁就經我髮型師就介紹咗我嚟揾佢咁樣，咁覺得第一次個 consultation 佢同佢個對話都好舒服，咁 end up 就真係揀咗 Ross 咯，即係可能我啲年代會爸爸媽媽會覺得，譬如紋身會影響工作啊咁樣，咁我覺得呢一刻都唔會特別再影響，就有咁嘅勇氣去做呢樣嘢。我婆婆就佢個名叫Lily 啦，即係百合花啦，咁都係一個紀念佢嘅一個紋身嚟嘅，係。婆婆照顧我細細個，咁係咯，想有啲嘢代表性記住佢咁樣。
I just put a little bit of this on. It just helps
Cool.
Take 10% off, and then I'll wrap it up in plastic.
OK。
And you can take your time and have a rest. Yeah, started learning how to be a tattooer while I was working in graphic design. And then I just started tattooing like the punk rockers from the scene. They wanted to get tattoos for free, so I was just tattooing as much as I could. I did that, and then slowly I could start charging people. Slowly I was getting a little bit better. And then after 2 years, the opportunity in Hong Kong came. So I'd only been like tattooing for 2 years in South Africa, and then the shop was for sale in Hong Kong.
如果hip hop 喺香港係犯法，係幫派做嘅嘢，我一定會加入幫派。由細到大都好想做古惑仔，不過唔夠膽。我係弱雞，我係懦夫，我唔夠人哋咁心狠手辣，所以都係乖乖地自己 rap 下，做下音樂算。離鄉別井去追夢嘅，通常都係迫於無奈啦，無可奈何先會咁做嘅啫。如果可以喺自己地方追夢嘅，就唔使離鄉別井啦。
I always worry. I should say.
唔好意思，冇問題。
Oh, that means no problem. 等一陣。
Get it.
Wait a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, momentai is
No problem.
No problem. Yeah. I always forget. In South Africa, tattooing is not very popular, so it would be good to get out. It was sooner than I expected, but the opportunity happened. You know, the shop was for sale, and so we just thought, let's just go. You know, if you miss the opportunity because you're too worried, then it'll never come again. So we just thought, let's just try. 2010 is when we bought the shop. You know, we had a lot of guest artists, a lot of experiences meeting artists from all over the world, and those stories are what helped me become a better tattooer, because meeting so many people, and they have all of their knowledge and all of their things, and so I don't know, it's not necessarily one story, but that's the story of Hong Kong for me, is this collaboration of artists from everywhere in the world that is interested in Hong Kong. It's such an interesting place, they want to visit.
I'm Yahel Kfir. I come from Israel. I've been tattooing for like 3 years. I think it's easy to travel around the world as a tattoo artist. Came to Hong Kong like 1 year ago. I saw some other shops, but first of all, I'm a foreigner, and being in a like local studio is a bit problem for me. So first of all, I got here and I fell in love with the vibe and everything. I went to a few places and it was super natural. I came to talk to Rich and Ross and it felt right. They were amazing and they have so much knowledge, first of all, which is, I felt like I'm so happy to be here. I can learn so much, and they're fun people, super artistic. It's like all about the art here, about Ross. I love him. I'm happy I got this because now we can know I love him. Yeah, he's, first of all, super talented, super artistic. His head is like full of, I don't know, knowledge and art stuff. I learned from him a lot, and as a person, he's like amazing, super funny, so good to talk to. I think, first of all, to work with someone that is doing it for so long is inspiration for sure, because people sometimes like get tired of their daily work, even tattooing, like maybe, but to see someone works all these years and sometimes not doing what he loves, but like still passionate about the art and about like doing this, it's the most inspiring thing ever. And also doing art here at the studio, we sit and we draw, and he's like always saying his opinion, and like we think about art together. It's like really artistic vibe here, which is amazing.
I chose it just because when I moved to Hong Kong, it was suddenly I saw Japanese imagery, not just Japanese imagery, like Chinese imagery and Asian in general. The Asian, like Buddhism and Shinto and all these kind of things, so much interesting imagery that I'd never seen before. Well, I had seen, but I hadn't seen it in its real way, I hadn't seen the beauty of it, you know. In South Africa, when I saw a Japanese tattoo, it was really bad. You know, they didn't know how to do it, so they did a really bad job. So I thought, oh, Japanese tattoos is no good. And then when I came to Hong Kong, suddenly it was like, wow, this is exciting. And then I also can see how difficult it is to do it right. Because in Japanese tattooing, if you do one part wrong, it's all wrong. You know, you do some water, but you do the water badly, the whole tattoo's messed up. So it's like so difficult. You got to do everything correct, like good water, good clouds and background, you know, how the foreground is, like the composition. Everything is so difficult. If you do one thing wrong, the tattoo doesn't look good. And so that was a good challenge for me. Like I really felt like I want to learn all about that. I want to learn how to do it really well, you know. And also I like to work, I don't like to have too many customers. I only like to have a few customers, and then, because if you're doing like a small tattoo, you have to have every day like 2 or 3 customers. I like to just have one customer one day, and then in the year maybe I only need like 20 customers. And then I'm just doing multiple sessions on one person, doing the sleeve or the back. So for me it's more relaxed. I can just make friends and we can chill and just work on their sleeve together, you know. More chilled for me. So what's happening, bro?
Not much, chilling. Pretty chill day today.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming down, man.
No,
I like the black t-shirt.
Thank you.
So
the occasion.
yeah.
Full colour?
No, we're doing black and grey.
This one looks so good.
Awesome, yeah, sure. Let me see the one I did in your elbow last. Yeah, this looks cool. It's so evil.
I know, and it sits so perfectly here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no. We first met in Hong Kong, but we knew of each other like 20 maybe years ago, 15 years ago in South Africa. We played in different bands in different sides of the country.
So then we knew each other, but we never met. And then in Hong Kong, you guys lived in China.
Yeah, so I was in mainland first. I was in a city called Taizhou, close to Hangzhou, Ningbo, over there. And then I came here for holiday. And then to get tattooed by these guys, because I heard they had a parlor here. So full circle, you know. I got stuck out of Hong Kong during COVID, visiting family. So back maybe just over a year of like small sessions, 1 or 2 big sessions, and then just like slowly chipping.
Yeah, chipping away for a year, and yeah, it came out great. I'm really happy with it, and it was one of the first sort of larger scale tattoos I did in Hong Kong. And after this, I actually started doing a lot more back pieces, so it was a really great experience.
I mean, my dad, he didn't talk to me for 3 months after I got my first tattoo. Obviously, in Cape Town, a lot of the tattoo culture, again, it's like gang culture. So, you know, he looks at me and he thinks, well, one way, you know?
Yeah, also South Africa is not a Western country. You know, it's not exactly the same as like America or England or something. The culture's different. So it has some Western influences, but overall the culture's a little bit more conservative and a little more old-fashioned, and people with a lot of tattoos are often sort of regarded as outsiders. But obviously tattooing's changing everywhere, you know, it's becoming more popular, so people are starting to realize, but definitely, you know, if you had tattoos more than 10 years ago, you're definitely an outsider. So South Africa's yeah, it's fairly similar to Hong Kong in that way. You know, I do have sometimes I go sit down on the train and then no one wants to sit next to me.
Yeah.
You know,
All the time. I always sit alone at lunch, like all the time. MTR, people won't sit next to me.
people stay away a little bit. But I don't know, sometimes it's also maybe...
But it's also the Guaylo thing, you know, so like,
You're-
fair enough. Like,
you're
I
a
get,
foreigner,
like,
so they're like,
fair,
ooh.
you know? But we look like these tall, scary Guaylos because we got the shit and I've got tattoos in my nails and my f***ing ears. So, whatever.
Also, I think like part of getting tattoos is part of like rejecting the mainstream. You know, so it's a sort of a way of saying like, I don't want to be part of the normal people. In some ways, it's successful. When people don't want to sit near you, it's kind of like, yeah, well, I don't want you to sit near me. So, you know.
紋身得到歧視就好多啊，紋身得到機會就唔太多嘅，即係見到譬如啲姨姨啊落車拖住個買餸嗰啲咧，嗰啲法拉利咧，好重啊嘛，幫佢一下兩下啫，佢哋會好哇驚嘅第一下，你做咩揾手想偷我嘢？呢啲係有色眼鏡嚟嘅，但係我好想將呢個有色眼鏡咧親手將你攞開佢。我哋要做多啲嘅，冇辦法嘅。我哋喺一個華人社會咧，係紋身係會俾人哋有一個有色眼鏡嘅。咁點樣可以令到人哋除低個有色眼鏡咧？身體力行做多一步，有禮貌啲，客氣啲，笑容好啲，令到人哋覺得，咦，有紋身嗰啲人都唔係壞人啫，有紋身嗰啲都可以係好人嘅。咁你要做多啲咯，無論你有冇紋身，都應該做啊。
I've been in Hong Kong for 13 years, you know, so Hong Kong has been amazing experience for me. Going from South Africa to Hong Kong was an extreme jump, and now I just felt like it was an adventure. And opening this business and all the amazing things that happened in Hong Kong to me, meeting all these people, developing my art and, you know, my community and stuff. But then now I feel like maybe it's time for another adventure. You know, I don't want to just feel like I have to stay in one place my whole life, you know. I've already left my home, so now it feels like I can go anywhere, you know. I think if you're leaving your hometown, you just have an open mind because everywhere has a different culture and a different way of doing things. So sometimes it's difficult when you leave home, but there's also advantages, and you open your mind. By leaving, you also open your mind, you expand your ideas, you become a more whole person. I also think that there's like a lot of value in people leaving their home, going out, exploring the world,